In this video, we are going to talk about dampness and paintings. Now, dampness is a natural occurrence, and I'm a painter. If it makes sense if I care about my paintings, but why would I care about a natural phenomenon, dampness? The thing is, my oil paintings are getting affected due to this natural phenomenon, so-called dampness. So even for a bit, I might have to take a look at this topic, and that's what we're going to do in this video. We are going to talk about the topics that we're going to discuss in this video are what is dampness, how it occurs, why it affects our oil painting, the main topic, and then I'm going to give you a solution how to get rid of it, how to avoid it. Alright, let's get started. But before starting, let me make it clear, all the information that I'm going to give you in this video is straight from my experience, raw experience, not from any book or internet. So maybe the solution I give you or a point I make, maybe you won't be able to relate it. Why? Because this whole topic, dampness, depends upon location to location. Alright, it is totally related to climatic condition, which again, as I said, varies from location to location. I hope it makes sense to you. Now let's get started. So first topic was dampness. What is dampness? So dampness is nothing but moisture. Now pay attention. Moisture present in the air. Moisture present in the air has a really good term. Humidity. Alright, humidity is fine. Excess of humidity, that is bad. Alright, now humidity level depends upon location to location. It varies. It can be very high, it can be very low. Both the case is bad for practicing oil painting or even for restoring oil paintings. Alright. See, oil painting is so vast and so fancy. That's the reason why only professionals do it. Oil painting in general requires high maintenance. By high maintenance, I mean wherever you paint, in your studio or in your house, you must maintain a certain condition, criteria, like proper temperature. Wherever you paint in your studio, you must maintain a proper temperature, proper humidity level. If you don't do that, you are bound to get some natural hindrance, like paint flakes, crack. You must have heard of it. Oil paintings do crack. Why? Because we are working with oils here. When this oil comes in contact with the air surrounding, there is so much of chemical reaction, you are bound to get some natural occurrences. Dampness is just one of it. Alright, dampness is just one of it, and that's what we care, at least in this video. Okay, so as I said, dampness is moisture present in the air, excess of moisture present in the air. Alright, now how it occurs, why it occurs. So mostly I'm giving you the main reason, a scientific reason. So mostly in summer, in rainy season, that's where most of the rain occurs. So what happens is, maybe your surrounding is not properly treated with a good drainage system. So what happens is, rainwater gets accumulated in your surrounding, in your area. As I said, maybe your drainage system is not that good, it's not properly done. Alright, so that rainwater is going to get blocked in that area. Of course, if it rains so much, continuous raining week after week, it is bound to happen. So what happens is, okay, most of the water gets evaporated, but some it gets in our houses through walls, buildings. The walls of the buildings absorb this water. Alright, and it enters in our houses, and then that moisture, that water ruins everything around it. Now let me tell you, as I said in the very beginning, you might not be able to relate it. Why I said? Because many of us or some of us may live in a penthouse. Let's say penthouse, alright, or in a bungalow, alright, which most of the time are properly treated for moisture control. What happens is, engineers, when they are still in the foundation process of a building, they treat the building properly for moisture control. What they do is, as far as I am concerned, what I know, they provide metal sheeting that seals that blocks most of the moisture, humidity in they don't allow the humidity, excess of humidity enter the house. Alright, or in India, a more common thing to see is black plastic sheeting. when they are making the roof, they lay large black plastic sheets. Why? Not to allow the humidity into the house. That plastic sheet blocks it, because walls absorb. Alright, so they absorb water, but if you are blocking it with something metal, like a metal or a plastic, which can't absorb, that's why it doesn't enter. But if you live in a rented house, just like I am, not a fancy house, just a rented house in a society, it's not fancy, it's just, there's a job. That black plastic sheeting is not going to work if you live in an extreme condition, just like I am. I live in Kolkata, India, and here, talking about humidity, it's soaring high all the time. Irrespective of the month, it is always high. And as a matter of fact, it is one of the highest in the whole world where I live. So I live in extreme conditions. So I'm doomed, that's what I'm saying. Alright? To give a level, it is around 80 to 90%. Yes, it can go up to 80 to 90% level of humidity. And that is just bad for oil painting, right? So what happens now? In our house, there is excess of moisture. As I said, it enters through walls, building walls. Now what happens? It is going to ruin everything. What things? The things that can absorb moisture. The thing that can absorb in general, like our house's walls. Clothes. There is a reason why our clothes, cotton clothes at least, absorb sweat. Canvases. Here comes the bad part. Canvases is nothing but cotton threads. Alright, the reason why they absorb paint and turpentine and whatever we put on it, water, right? They absorb it. That's why they absorb moisture as well. Now, the other things that absorb is food. I'm trying to give some common names, right? So that you can understand. Alright, wardrobe, wood. So what is happening is that there is excess of moisture in the air inside our houses, which needs to go somewhere. So they sit in some surfaces which can absorb it. Pretty much every surfaces, even metal or mirror, glass. But since glass is not going to get any effect of it because it can't absorb anything, food absorb. That's why you will see in summertime most of our food gets smelly, or you will say there are molds growing or fungus growing in it. Why? Because suppose we keep a piece of food somewhere and we forget it, and after a long time, like let's just say 4 days, we saw it was in a dark place, keyword here, dark place. It was in a dark place and we didn't touch it for 4 straight days, and there was lots of humidity in the air in that 4 days. So what happens is the fungus just needs two things: a dark place and moisture. That's where they breed. So the key line here is this fungus, bacteria, molds grow in dark and wet places. Alright, this is called dampness. Alright, now I'll tell you how it affects our paintings. We don't care about food or clothes, we care about paintings, right? So this is a painting, and this is how dampness look. By the painting you can't really tell how it affects, but let me show you this. Can you see spots? These are molds. Alright, now why it happened? The thing is, oil painting in general takes time to dry, a lot of time to dry. Then acrylic or watercolor painting, they can take up to 1 year to dry. Because oil paintings are painted in layers, maybe one of the inside layer is still wet. Maybe we painted one, we kept it somewhere, and after 15 days, in the month of April, May, June, July, whatever, summer season, we saw molds are growing, which is likely, it is bound to happen. Why? Because we are keeping it in a stagnant position. We are not touching it, we are not moving it. It is in a dark place, not even dark place, but the humidity is so high, and since it is wet, this is the result. Alright, now how to avoid it? Well, if one of your painting already takes a hit like this mine did, what you can do is you can take a brush. You can take a brush and dust the excess of moisture off. This is moisture and bacteria. The early you do it, the better, because we have to stop it from further degradation. See, it is not possible every time to check each and every canvas and do proper cleaning and things like that. So what happens when you see this, just take a brush and dust the excess moisture off. Same goes for here. You can't see anything because I already did that. Otherwise, what will happen if you don't do it, they will put marks on it, just like here. I don't care about the back part, but I do care about the front part. And what I do with all the paintings, whenever I see some white spots, that is nothing but moisture and a little bit of bacteria, which will eventually grow if I don't do anything, if I don't take any action. So what action is? Action is to take a brush and dust the excess off. You have to do it. This is the only method, at least I know. I don't know if it's practical for you or feasible for you, but this is the only method I know, and I do it, and it works. This is one reason, this is one method that you are going to do when you're painting, when one of your painting takes a hit because of dampness. Alright, now this is not practical all the time because my paintings are already getting affected. I'm just saying to dust it off. That's not a really good reason. And yes, let me tell you one more thing. If you are not able to see anything, what you gotta do is you have to tilt the painting to 90 degrees and close one eye and try to see it. You will see moisture, white spots, and then you dust it off. Alright, now as I was talking, there's got to be something, a good method to actually block it from even happening in the first place. Well, I have it. What you do is you seal the painting. Here, this is one example. Alright, so this is a painting, oil painting, and I have sealed it by a plastic film, with the help of a plastic film. This plastic film is nothing but cling wrap or cling film. Pretty fancy word, but anyway, we use it in our kitchen to seal food, to wrap food products, right? Aluminium foil, just like that, but we don't use any aluminium foil. That can be expensive, and it's not even feasible because this is perfect, right? This can help you to avoid any dust, all the things, right? And even dampness as well. So what you do is you take cling wrap. This is how it looks. This is the box, new one, and this is how it comes in a roll. And I am pretty sure most of you, it's pretty common thing, pretty simple thing. It works in electric static charge. Remember that balloon thing that we used to do in back in the days, like when we were a kid? We used to take that balloon, used to rub it to charge it, and then attract some paper and stuff like that. That was funny, right? But there is a proper science going on. That's what we are doing here. Alright, just wrap it. No need to tape or anything. Just wrap it. It works in static charge, as I said. And now the science behind why we are doing it. The thing is, we are not allowing any air to pass through it. We are not allowing any air, any humidity to pass through it. If that humidity, that air doesn't come in contact of the surface that we are trying to protect, what? Canvas. If it doesn't come in contact, there is no point of chemical reaction. There is no point of molds growing, fungus breeding, any bacteria forming. So we win, alright? That's what we're doing here. So if one of your painting already takes a hit, dust it off. That's the only thing I know that I do. And just when you make one painting, alright, the top layer is dry, completely dry. The top layer, there's a top layer, seal it. It will help you to protect it, and it's not permanent. You can just take it off whenever you want. Alright, so yes, that's you can do. That's one strong solution that I have to protect it, to block it from any degradation, natural degradation like fungus or molds forming. And then so I gave you solution. I said you how it works. And now yes, one more topic that I have to discuss, which I actually didn't said. Anyway, I'll discuss it. So I will show you two paintings now. Both paintings are in oils. This is the first one, the one that I showed you, which took a hard hit because of dampness, due to dampness. Now there is one more, this one. Alright, oil painting, no secrets, oil painting, but there is not a single mark, there is not a single mold or let's say bacteria or anything forming. And I am pretty sure no matter how long I keep it like this, it is not going to form. I have not covered it. I don't have to. It's not going to attract any bacteria or any moisture. Why? This is also an oil painting. Why it is not attracting any of those things? The reason is in the way I painted it. I used my oil color as watercolor for this specific painting. Alright, I used 90% turpentine and just 10% of oil color. That means I used less of oils. That translates to less of chemical reaction, first of all, alright? Then, if you are using less of oil paint, your paint is going to dry much faster because you are already giving so much of turpentine, which is a fast drying medium. You should know it as an oil painter, right? So, and the next thing, I worked on this painting in just one layer, just gave a wash of these colors, whatever the color. The painting is fine, see, the painting is fine, it's alright, but the way I painted it, just one layer, just wash by using loads of turpentine, which resulted in drying within a day, I would say. Within a day. That means I am not allowing any fungus and those bacteria to breed in, because one day is pretty less. Everything needs time to grow. Plants, they need time to grow and they need this proper condition like sunlight, water, and things like that. Let's not talk about that. Let's stick to our topic. So they need time to grow and I'm not giving it. Just one day and it was completely dry. There was no moisture in it anywhere, and it was not wet. And when it's not wet, it's completely dry. Even when it comes in contact with the outside environment, it is not going to react in any way. For the reaction to take place, it has to be wet, like this was. This was. Why? Because I worked on this painting in a traditional, conventional way. How? I did this one in a span of 2 to 3 weeks, I guess, in the month of April or May, not sure, but April or May. Those were wild months, summer season, rainy season, alright? So that one thing is check. And then I worked on this one like in 6 or 7 layers, I suppose. 6 or 7 layers. That means I'm giving so much of oil paint to it. That means maybe the top layer is dry, doesn't matter, but the inside layers is still wet, and it was wet. This is the result, right? This is the reaction. So I'm giving time for the molds to grow in, and since it was wet and then it came in contact with the outside environment, moisture, high humidity in summer, and I kept it in a dark place. Even if you don't keep it in a dark place, it's just stagnant, they're gonna grow, molds are gonna form, right? So yes, so by this example, I'm not telling you to change the way you paint. I'm sorry, I'm not at all telling you, because that would be almost unethical, because it's almost like I am taking away the freedom of working with oils from you. Because see, we do oil paintings, the whole ideology behind oil painting is to enjoy it, do it layer by layer, enjoy whatever you do, right? Otherwise, why don't we settle for acrylic or watercolor? Those are fine as well. There is a reason why everyone wants to work with oil, because it's just so awesome and just we have so much freedom with it. But that comes with a cost like these ones, alright? So I'm not telling you to change the way you do it. You do it the way you do it, but you take some precautions like when dampness occurs, dust it, or when you're done with the painting, wrap it, seal it. And now I'm going to tell you few habits that you can develop which will help you. And now these habits might not be feasible for you, because it is not for me certainly. Let's just talk about it. The first habit is to check your paintings regularly. Now this is only possible if you're a hobbyist or if you have limited counts of canvases. Let's say if you have 10 to 15 canvases, come on man, you can check it week after week on a weekly basis. 10 to 15 paintings, you just have to check it, you just have to take it in your hand, see if there is any irregularities or any marks or something. If there is, dust it off, just on a weekly basis, 10 to 15. Now it really doesn't make any sense to me, because I have to look after 500 canvases. Yes, that is not at all feasible, is it? No. So it doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm just telling you because I know it, you can do it. If you just take one painting in your hand and you just check it, you just dust it off, molds are not gonna happen, trust me, it is not. But yeah, it's only gonna work It's only gonna work. Oh my goodness, I'm fumbling now. 20 minutes. Oh my goodness, who talks for 20 minutes in a single topic? Oh my goodness. Yes. So where were we? Yeah. So check them, take the precautions and things like that. And then the second habit was, yeah, you can frame them. You can frame your oil paintings. Now, it is again not possible if you have 500 or canvases. It is not at all possible, at least not for me. I'm not that rich, be honest. Okay, so if you have just like 6 to 7 canvases and they are really important for you, and you want to avoid that fungus and everything at any cost, frame them. Because when you frame it, you are providing proper backing, support, and a glass up front that will protect it. Or else this cling wrap, whatever I said, it's fine, it will work for you. Because if it works for me, it's gonna work for you definitely 100%. Why? Because I live in one of the most extreme condition for oil painting. Because it is not possible for all of us, all the painters, all the oil painters in the world, to have a really suitable condition in their studio for oil painting. How are we gonna get that? Because we can't ignore nature, and we are here dealing with nature directly, and there is no way we can ignore it. Let me tell you one good phrase that I'm recalling right now. Nature is one hell of a beast. You must have heard of it, this phrase. I love it. And we must respect it. Nature is one hell of a beast and we must respect it. Right? We can't ignore it, but we can respect it by taking few precautions. Alright? So that was it. Now, yeah, literally that was it. That is everything I know about this topic, and I would say my knowledge in this topic is fairly limited for now. But whatever I said it from my experience, what I witnessed. Alright? But if you still have any question, you can comment. I will try to answer it. And one more thing, maybe you also deal with this situation, with this issue, and you have a unique way of dealing with it. Something I didn't say in this video, I totally ignored it. Maybe give those solutions as well in the comment, right? Good. That was it. Good.